In every one of my videos on Donald Trump, I've gotten at least one comment claiming that if Trump was guilty, we'd know by now. But is this true? First off, you have to understand how hard it is to convict someone in general if they have a high-priced lawyer. Not because the law favors rich people, but because cops can easily get their convictions quota from poor people with little evidence, many of whom get about 15 minutes with their constitutionally required public defender lawyers due to state budget cuts and the backlog that these underpaid, overworked public servants have as being tough on crime and makes for better press than ensuring that only guilty ones are convicted. If everyone had equal access to legal representation, the laws might very well be much clearer and stricter so as not as many legal loopholes could be used. Now add to the fact that he's rich, then add on to it the fact that he's the single most powerful person in the country. Saying that if Trump was guilty we'd know it is like saying if a mob boss was guilty we'd know by now. The reason you were a mob boss is because you have a chain of command that can take the fall for you and leave you looking squeaky clean. During the Trump campaign, if he was breaking the law, he kept himself clean with hard-to-track trails. He can play innocent and naive. If these people in his campaign did break the law, he can throw blame at underling after underling. Mueller is moving his way very carefully and very slowly up the chain of command, weighing the ideas of offering plea deals and immunity to catch even bigger fish. The worst thing that could happen is if Trump was charged with insufficient evidence, or if Mueller gave a plea deal to someone who didn't deserve it, as the info they had was crap. Add this to the fact that hacking, collusion, and coordination in these cases are really hard to prove, and there are so many charges that could be brought against him in the long run. As I said in my video on the top 10 things that could get Trump impeached, this will continue to take months to even a year or two of FBI investigations so they can catch the most fish and not have the fish they catch get away. If he can find Mike Pence guilty, or even Rance Priebus or Paul Ryan, they will wait before convicting anyone. This is how Nixon went down. Slow and steady wins the race in this case. If Mueller can find enough evidence, he could take down the whole Trump establishment, or he could just take down the guilty parties like Michael Flynn. Either way, he has to move precisely, slowly, and carefully, leaving no stone unturned, or he could just end up looking like a partisan hack. And Trump or even Pence could just end up pardoning the guilty party, making all the efforts Mueller put into the investigation pointless. We are in this for the long haul. Just like with the scientific study, there is evidence, but more research is needed to decide to convict. No, we don't know yet. Our current Congress refuses to charge him for constitutional crimes like the Emoluments Clause, so we just have to wait for the system to run its course and possibly change our government in the next election, unless we slack off and don't bother getting out to vote, or unless that too is hacked.